Democratic officials in Minnesota lost an extradition battle with Republican officials in Texas over Officer Christian Castro, who was charged after shooting and wounding a Venezuelan immigrant in January. It's unknown at this time if Castro will have to eventually appear in court to answer those charges. General Mills has removed artificial colors from all of its cereals. According to the company, the move means that brands including Lucky Charms and Trix are now made and available without synthetic color additives. I'm Mike Island. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the free iHeartRadio app.
Watch us on Facebook Live. And hear us on WBOK1230.com.
Late nights in New Orleans. Some voices entertain the city. Some voices changing. You already know who on the air tonight. Gerod. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. French Quarter nights with the rain coming down. Whole city talk, but the truth stay underground. Funny how the silence break whenever he speak. Certain conversations never make the TV. Voice through the speakers got the whole city tuned. Higher ups nervous every time he hit the room. Cause he say what the people been feeling for years. Bringing light to the stories they don't want us to hear. From the uptown lights to the night war pain. Every word hit different when it cut through the rain. Everybody know the truth, you never said aloud. Till Gerard hit the airwaves and it shook the whole town. And the streets keep calling through the static in the night. Every word feel different when Gerard go live. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. Streetcars roll while the city stay awake. Everybody got a story, everybody got a way. Funny how the phones go quiet when he name names. Funny how the pressure rise when he shift the conversation. He talks schools, streets, money disappearing. Backdoor deals that the public ain't hearing. Things get buried when the cameras don't roll, but the people tune in cause Gerard let it unfold. From the jazz in the streets to the smoke in the sky. The wall ain't still fighting, still holding it high. And the city feels seen every time that he speak. Cause the truth hit harder when it finally run deep. Now the whole town riding with the station on loud. Hands high while they sing every word through the crowd. Can you feel the city breathing? Every late night conversation. Through the speakers, through the rain. Ooh, New Orleans, don't sound the same. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. Yeah. You're now rocking with Gerard, the voice they couldn't silence. New Orleans, stand up.
Good afternoon, and welcome to WBOK 1230 AM and 107.1 FM. I'm attorney Suzette Bagneris, and very shortly I will be joined by Gerard Stevens. The number here is 504-582-9422. Welcome to this Friday edition of the Reality Check. You can follow us not only on the radio, you can also watch on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. We're trying to be everywhere, y'all. Trying to make it easy for you to tune in and easy for you to participate. So today, I'd like to talk about a lot of topics. But before we talk about Hurricane Katrina, which we must on its 21st anniversary, and what that means to New Orleanians around the country, I want to begin by honoring Jerome Big Duck Smith. Big Duck passed away on August 21st, 2026 at the age of 87. A public visitation will be held on Friday, September 11th from 4 until 8 p.m. at Gallier Hall, located at 545 St. Charles Avenue. His celebration of life will be held on Saturday, September 12th at 10 a.m. at the Mahalia Jackson Theater for the Performing Arts. We extend our deepest condolences to his family, the Backstreet Cultural Museum family, the Treme community, and the generations of children who knew him simply as Big Duck. Will Sutton's column, if you saw it today, reminds us why that name was so appropriate. They called him Big Duck because children followed behind him like ducklings. Think about the meaning of that image. Children follow people they trust. They follow people who make them feel protected. They follow people who make them feel seen. They follow people who appear consistently, not only when cameras are present, not only during an election, or not only when tragedy strikes. For more than 6 decades, children followed Big Duck physically, culturally, and morally. He did not merely tell them where he had been. He showed them where they could go. He taught them Black history before schools consistently considered Black history worth serious instruction. He taught them about the civil rights movement from the perspective of someone who had put his own body on the line. He taught them that New Orleans culture was not something to be ashamed of, commercialized by somebody else, or displayed only for tourists. He taught the children of New Orleans, the Black children of New Orleans in particular, that the culture of New Orleans belonged to them. Big Duck understood that children need more than rules. They need roots. A child knows where he comes from is harder to convince. The child who knows where he comes from is harder to convince that he comes from nothing. A child who knows the history of Treme understands that Black New Orleans did not begin with poverty statistics or crime reports. A child who understands the Freedom Riders knows that ordinary people can confront extraordinary power. A child who learns about Black masking Indians, social aid and pleasure clubs, jazz funerals, and second lines understands that our ancestors created beauty, protection, and community, even when official institutions excluded them and told them they were nothing. That is what Big Duck gave children, a sense of who they are, and a sense of where they came from, and a sense of what they could be. He did not leave the movement. He brought it home. We properly honor Big Duck as a Freedom Rider and a member of the New Orleans chapter of the Congress of Racial Equality. At only 19 years old, he became involved with CORE. He participated in sit-ins and boycotts challenging segregation. In 1961, he joined the Freedom Rides, risking arrest, violence, and death to challenge segregation in interstate transportation. He later participated in a historic 1963 meeting with Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy, James Baldwin, and other civil rights leaders. That alone would have secured Big Duck his place in American history. But Big Duck did something equally important after the dramatic confrontations of the 1960s. He came home to New Orleans and continued the work. He did not treat the movement as a chapter of his youth. He did not spend the rest of his life merely recounting what he had done in the past. He took the principles of the movement into Huntersville, the Treme Center, and everyday lives of New Orleans children. In 1968, he founded the Great Tambourine and Fan Organization. It became a place where children could learn Black history, New Orleans culture, discipline, community responsibility, and pride. He understood the assignment. He understood that civil rights are not preserved only in courtrooms and legislatures. They are preserved when one generation deliberately prepares the next for its challenges. Every generation must learn that freedom was fought for. I think that's something that our kids are missing today. Every generation must understand that rights can be lost. I think that's something that our kids are experiencing today. Every generation must be taught that culture requires stewardship. Big Duck was doing youth development before government agencies turned it into a professional phrase. He was offering culturally grounded education before institutions began talking about culturally responsive teaching. He was providing violence prevention by giving children belonging, identity, discipline that adults they knew they could trust. He knew that if you wanted to save a community, you had to reach its children. Big Duck's leadership was not based on a title or a high profile. He did not need a government appointment to serve our community. He did not need a grant announcement to appear. He did not need to be photographed handing something to a child. He was present. He was doing the work, whether anybody noted it or whether it just went silently on without being recognized. He could speak with the national civil rights leaders and powerful government officials, but he remained connected to children at Huntersville. He could discuss the freedom rides, but he also understood the needs of a young person growing up in Treme. That combination of notoriety and humility is increasingly rare. Too many people want proximity to power without responsibility to people. Too many people use community service as a path toward recognition for themselves. Too many institutions appear in Black neighborhoods when they need a photograph, a vote, a development approval, or a favorable public image. Big Duck's work was different because it was rooted in relationship. He did not just visit the community when it benefited him. He belonged to it. There's another lesson here. New Orleans has a habit of celebrating culture bearers more loudly after they die than it supports them while they are living. After they are gone, the city wants to write proclamations. They want to rename buildings, hold ceremonies, post photographs, and call them legends. But while they are alive, many struggle for funding, institutional support, housing, health care, and the preservation of spaces where their work occurs. We have to stop giving our elders flowers only when they can no longer smell them. Honoring Big Duck now means more than attending his funeral. It means supporting the Backstreet Cultural Museum. It means preserving Tambourine and Fan's history. It means recording the testimony of remaining civil rights veterans. It means funding the people teaching Black history in our streets and New Orleans culture to our children. It means protecting the neighborhoods where this culture was created. And it means asking who will take Big Duck's place, not as a celebrity or a symbolic figure, but as the trusted adult whom children can follow like ducklings. So who's going to teach the children now? Who is going to explain what happened during the civil rights movement? Who is going to teach them they come from people who fought back? Who is showing them difference between culture and entertainment? Who is taking them to museums, churches, streets, and gathering places where our history lives? Who's going to be present for these kids when the cameras are gone? Big Duck's life presents a challenge to every adult in this community. Which children are following you? And where are you leading them? That's the question we want to pose today. It's especially fitting that we honor Big Duck on the eve of the 21st anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. Big Duck dedicated his life to preserving Black New Orleans. Katrina scattered Black New Orleans around the country. Big Duck taught children where they came from. Katrina created a generation of New Orleans children who grew up far away from the neighborhoods that shaped their parents and their grandparents. Some of those children were carried out of the city as babies. Today, they are adults. Some have their own children. They may live in Houston, Atlanta, Dallas, Memphis, Jackson, or Birmingham. But we all know they got a pot of beans on Monday. Some know New Orleans through visits, photographs, and family stories. Some have never lived here long enough to call a particular neighborhood home, but they know where the Ninth Ward is. That is one of Katrina's deepest and least discussed consequences. We didn't just lose houses, we lost proximity between generations because we all lived around the corner from our grandmother. We lost children growing up down the street from their grandparents. We lost cousins attending the same schools. We lost neighbors who watched over everybody's children. We lost the daily transfer of culture that occurs when young people grow up surrounded by elders like Big Duck. Katrina separated children from the people, institutions, and neighborhoods that could tell them who they were. And that is why Big Duck's work matters so much to this Katrina conversation that we're going to have today. He understood that culture does not transfer automatically. It must be taught. So as we sit back today and we're going to discuss Katrina, we're going to remember Big Duck fondly. So here we are. That's the comment for today. I want all of you to call on in. Tell us what Big Duck meant to you. Tell us why his work really mattered. And tell us about your Katrina story. We'll be right back.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
Hey New Orleans, it's Doc Griggs. Tune in every Thursday from 12 to 1 p.m. for Doc Talk and get checked, get fit, get moving.
Taking action to improve your health is within your reach. Oxna Health, Johnson & Johnson, and the Abundant Life Tabernacle Full Gospel Baptist Church are hosting a men's health event 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Saturday, September 5th. Attend this important prostate cancer awareness event at Abundant Life Church, 1701 Franklin Avenue. Learn more about prostate health at no cost Saturday, September 5th. Be proactive. Stay healthy.
We are the rhythm of the streets.
The flavor in every dish.
The story in every song.
We are New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation.
We help artists build the future of New Orleans.
Because when the culture thrives, our people thrive.
Every note, every brushstroke, every dish is a door opening new possibilities for those who carry our traditions forward. And when we open that door, the whole city moves forward. For New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation, culture is our open door.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
And we are back. Today we just celebrated a little commentary about the life of Jerome Smith, Big Duck, as we have affectionately called him. And I have kind of utilized that to set the stage to talk about Katrina. You know, Katrina did not just flood a city. it disrupted cultural inheritance. When we discuss Katrina, we usually begin with a discussion of the water that flooded our city. But Katrina also interrupted the passage of knowledge from one generation to another. A child learns culture by being present in it, by watching a grandmother cook without measuring anything, by hearing the stories adults tell around the kitchen table or while sitting on the front porch, by learning how to behave at a funeral, by knowing which streets flood, by attending a neighborhood school with children whose parents attended it before them. My mom taught 4 generations of students at McDonough number 40 in New Orleans East. By recognizing the sound of a brass band coming from several blocks away, by understanding that a second line is not just a parade, it's a celebration of life, by learning who made the suit, who carried the flag, who started the club, and who came before them when we see the Indians coming down the street. When families were displaced, much of that daily cultural education was disrupted. People carried what they could, but you cannot place an entire neighborhood in an evacuation bag. You cannot reproduce Treme in a Houston apartment complex, although you may try. Lord knows they're trying to have crawfish everywhere in Houston and beignets everywhere in Houston. You cannot recreate the lower Ninth Ward through a family group chat, although I think we have all tried to do that. You cannot fully replace the daily presence of grandparents, neighbors, teachers, musicians, and culture bearers. That does not mean the culture disappeared, though. It was just harder for us to carry it on. And I'm really starting to understand that now that my own children are living in another state. It is hard to carry on these family traditions with grandchildren who have not experienced it, who have not really seen it. And that's something I think so many of us have lived since Katrina. The culture didn't disappear. New Orleanians carried it with them and planted it pieces throughout America. We have New Orleanians, pieces of New Orleans all over the world now because of Katrina. Displacement changed how our traditions have been transmitted, but it didn't get rid of them. So that's why we must intentionally connect young members of New Orleans' diaspora to their history. We can't assume they're just simply going to absorb it because their parents were born in New Orleans. All of us have a duty to tell them, to show them photographs, to identify the people in those photographs, to explain which neighborhood raised their family. We have to tell them where their grandparents went to school, where their grandparents were baptized, and where their family home stood before the water came, because some of those houses are no longer there. We must teach them that their connection to New Orleans is not based on where they currently have a local address. I don't care if you're living in Baltimore. You are still New Orleans. So, anyway, G, that's the framework. I've set our conversation today. It's just so hard hearing New Orleanians who have been gone now away from here 21 years, still trying to hold on to that culture wherever they landed. Mm-hmm. And being homesick, but at the same time feeling guilty because they no longer want to come home.
The interesting thing about the people that left here from New Orleans, you are absolutely correct. They either are holding on to a piece of it and have taken it with them. Mm-hmm. So now when you go on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you see a lot of folks that have said, we're going to open up a restaurant and we're going to give them that New Orleans flavor.
The St. Aug alumni having that big old party out in Atlanta every year. Mm-hmm. This crew of pyros that's now in the Baltimore, D.C. area. All of that's people trying to find a piece of New Orleans where they ended up.
Now, what I am finding out is that those folks that have put that culture on lock and took it with them, have you noticed they're not trying to come home right now?
They're not, most of my friends and family who relocated after Hurricane Katrina, and I would say that's 90% of my friends and family,
Not trying to come back.
Or not trying to come back.
Nope.
You know, they were gone so long and they found opportunity elsewhere.
And better opportunity.
Better economic and educational opportunity for their children, and they didn't return.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, they stay in touch with their New Orleanian family members and friends.
They come visit.
They come visit all the time. They always come and they bring back with them things like shrimp and hot sausage.
Yep.
And, you know, things like that they can't actually get where they live now.
Mm-hmm.
So that they can make that gumbo for Christmas still. So they can make those red beans on a Monday.
They ain't lost what Mama taught
They didn't lose what Mama taught them, but they're trying to recreate it somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's shameful to me is some of the lessons that the folks that even lived through it and came back home. I would ask this question too. Let's put this into asking this question, and you all call us 504-582-9422. Since you've been back from Katrina, which has been what, 21 years?
21 years tomorrow.
Are things better for you?
And have we really advanced in this 21-year period? Or are we still dealing with the same problems that we were dealing with 21 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's the reality of it. You know, all of my family, large portion of my family now lives in Houston, ironically, where my girls now live. And I can say for a fact, they're all doing much better than they were doing when they were living here in New Orleans.
Now, don't get it twisted, because inflation has crippled a lot of folks. It's crippled them to the point where just everyday living is costing you more, and it's breaking some folks. But it is, since this administration has taken over. But are things better for you? Do you have to worry about sitting down wondering, am I going to have trash pickup this week? Are you worried about, what's going to happen if I have a construction company? Will I be able to do business? What's going to happen with my fees that I pay? Even though I'm paying more to live here, are your services getting any better? And that's the number one thing that I think that we're not having a conversation about. And the players that are in charge, they do not want to hear a conversation about inflation or betterment of their, your working or living environment. They don't want to hear that conversation.
I think young people on a whole, their conversation and their fear does revolve around economics and the fact that they're finding it harder to accomplish home ownership and things like that because their jobs are not paying them at the same standard that inflation is raising the prices of things.
Right.
But at the same time, their conversations are much different. Their focus is much different. They're not worried about
I guess the
garbage collection.
But I guess the worst thing about that inflation issue or betterment of my ability to live comfortably was the fact that all that money that came into this city should have given everybody the opportunity to do better.
Oh, it should have given us all a better quality of life.
I've heard everybody, even accountants, sit around and say, hey, for the billions of dollars that came in here and the number of people that we have here, we should have been able to take that money and say, you got $100,000, you got $100,000. Everybody should have had $150,000. And it never happened that way. And a lot of that money just disappeared.
Well, a lot of that money, unfortunately, went to mortgage companies because the mortgage companies got theirs first from the insurance companies, which left a lot of people unable to rebuild. That's just a sad reality. Additionally, people didn't have in place the mechanisms to open 5 successions because the family had never owned open succession on grandmother's house that people were still living in.
Did we learn that lesson, though?
I don't think we have learned that lesson.
Because it's going to happen again. And the phone rings all the time with people like, oh, yes. I need to take out a succession.
That's
I get back with you.
That's how I know they haven't learned because we still have people who grandmother dies, So then, the second generation mother lives there, and then she gives it to her kids, but nobody has opened the succession.
Right.
Nobody has transferred legal title.
Right.
So we still have not learned that Katrina lesson.
I don't think the average person paid attention.
No, I still don't think we've learned the lesson either of digitizing all of your important documents. We have too many people, as you know, who come into the office with folders and paper and in bags and all kind of stuff.
That done turned yellow.
That have turned yellow, that lay all that paper out on the table. And these are important documents.
Yep.
And they say, oh, I brought you all this paperwork. None of this should be in paper form. We should have all learned that lesson from Katrina. Everything should be scanned in. There's free apps now that you can put on your phone, like Scanner for Me, where you can just scan the document on your phone, and then you have all your important documents with you handily on your phone, no matter where you are. So I don't think we have learned that lesson.
Think about this. Now, this is somebody going to take this idea and roll with it. I want my cut. I'm just being honest with you. I want my cut.
Okay, well, I'm always trying to set up a new business for us so we can retire.
I want my cut. What do you all think about starting a mobile scanner business? You can go down every street in the city of New Orleans and tell everybody, hey, for a fee,
I'll scan all the paper.
I'll scan all your important documents and give it to you on the thumb drive, or send it to your email, or send it to your Dropbox, or send it to whatever you need it to be. But all you have to do is tell me to roll up on your house. We're going to roll up on your house and scan all your important documents.
And you would be doing such a service to the community.
And you ain't got to go nowhere. And you don't have to go nowhere.
I just don't understand why we still walking around with paper. My law office is paperless. It took a long time to get there, but we learned that lesson from Katrina.
Not my office.
That we could not have people's files sitting in an office that could potentially go underwater.
I got all your files that's going to go underwater. Thank God I'm on the second floor because my office is not paper.
Well, it should be. The policy is to scan in everything into a software program called FileVine so that we can work from anywhere in the world and not have our business interrupted and not lose people's documents. I don't understand why people are still keeping paper at home. We, if of all people, should have learned that lesson in Katrina. So if you don't have your important papers scanned, and if you do not possess your important papers, now is the reminder to get it all in order.
Guilty.
You should have your Social Security documents. You should have your birth certificate.
I got it.
You should have your insurance documents, your mortgage documents. You should take videos of everything in your home because you know the insurance company is going to ask you, do you have any pre-disaster photos? Everybody should have those videos and have them uploaded.
Sitting on my desk.
You should have all your medical records in digital form. You should be able to log into your LCMC portal or your Oshner portal, whatever portal you have, so you can access your medical records from wherever you are.
Whole computer sitting on the desk.
You need to have your pets records. You need to do all of this, y'all. I mean, it's so important to try to be paperless at this point because we never know when we're going to have another disaster strike.
Cujo's vaccination, birth certificate, all that.
Shot record, everything.
Sitting on my desk. Roof. Shout out to Cujo.
How's that going to help you in Cujo when you are all displaced to Dallas?
Roof. Cujo.
I mean, this is so serious, and I just don't think people have learned that lesson.
No, I'm actually joking, but that's how I was. I was the same way. And then I think, too, coming to the office and look, you're a stickler for it. So is Emil. Emil more of a stickler for it, too. But
I credit him with us going paperless. He really put it together.
And I like it because of the fact that, no matter if I'm in the office, at home, or 900 miles away in North Carolina, I can go on that file, go on that computer, and you can call me and I can go, hey, let me look at the computer. And I can tell you what it is. I mean, we had that today.
Absolutely. And, all of those, we learned that lesson because all of those law firms on Canal Street were completely underwater and lost everybody's files in Katrina.
Yep.
And we can't have that happen again. We need to learn the lesson, no matter what your business is.
That's a good idea, though.
Doesn't have to be a law firm, whatever your business is.
I like that new business.
Well, somebody needs to look, we just helped y'all out with a tip.
The mobile scam.
Somebody needs to start that business. I think it's so worthwhile.
Bring me your files, and we will scan them and put them in the email, and even start a Dropbox or iCloud for you, so that you'll have it, and all you have to do is go on and go. Brandon even gave my name.
There you go. All
Gerod,
right, Brandon.
Scan and Go.
Look, y'all get a crowdfunding together and get with Gerod, and y'all start that business.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I don't think people have learned, and I really do hope you are listening to this lesson. If you have family members who are in skilled nursing facilities, you need to find out what the evacuation plan is for that skilled nursing facility. Where are they going to take your loved one?
You know what?
Yes.
With that being said, the number one person y'all need to get with, I'm talking to the nursing facilities or whoever, is Warren Riley. Warren did this for the federal government and did it for FEMA and put together their plans, all of their evacuation routes and all that. He put together the facility's entire plan. Warren did that he did that for the government.
Well, I don't have a lot of faith in the facilities.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking to the family members, okay? You need to make sure, you need to ask for a copy of the nursing facilities evacuation plan, and you need to make sure they're going to take your loved one to an acceptable place. Handling that Bob Dean Ida nursing home class action broke my heart. I still have nightmares from what I saw going into that warehouse where those elderly people were placed on the floor and had porta potties that had cat litter in them in open spaces for them to use the bathroom. No air condition, complete heat, no nutrition,
mattresses
no food.
And water.
Mattresses soaked with urine,
it's urine.
feces, and water. I mean, it's just I can't even. I have pictures. I mean, I just can't even imagine that being my loved one in that kind of situation. So I don't know that we've learned that Katrina lesson. They're supposed to have an evacuation plan on file with LDH, with the Louisiana Department of Health. And they are LDH is supposed to review those plans now and make sure that they are adequate. But I'm asking you to make sure too, because nobody should live like that.
When you talk about this, and I learned a whole lot more from you and Emil, because of what happened. But I really do put this type of tragedy and what we saw in the same presence of media covering up the tragedy. Now, there was some that was on television, but the extent of what happened to those folks was never really talked about. It was there for a minute in the news, and then it went away.
Yeah, it's just really sad. I mean, it just goes to show you, disaster can strike any community. We live in Southeast Louisiana, and we need to be aware, and we need to be prepared. And I'm not too sure that we have learned all of those lessons that we should have learned from Katrina, and, I don't know either that New Orleans ever bounced back from Katrina. Mm-hmm. I know that so many people were displaced because by design, they didn't let you come back to public housing developments. The public housing developments were demolished, and housing became so expensive after Katrina. They didn't let you come back to the schools you knew. Schools were seized by the state and reorganized, and black educators lost their jobs en masse.
Well, I do think that we're getting ready to go through the new list of stuff that's supposed to be coming from this administration as far as the state is concerned. We're getting ready to see our folks that might be homeless or down on their luck being arrested and put in jail. And if you don't have the money to get out, then you're going to have to do hard labor.
You're talking about the homeless population.
Yep.
Yeah.
That new homeless bill.
Well, they're criminalizing them because they want slave labor.
Yep.
And that's the plan, to just round them up, put them in concentration camp type situations, and have them work for the state as free labor. I mean, this is the plan. This is what they're going to do. And I don't think it's going to stop at the homeless. I think they're going to continue to categorize people, and they're going to continue to make it okay to round them up. They started with the immigrants, right?
I was going to say like Pablo.
As a matter of fact, on the website for the White House right now, the Magic School Bus is being depicted as the Magic Immigration Bus.
And you are not lying. For those of you that like, did she say the Magic School Bus? Yes, the
nursery
Magic School Bus that you saw on PBS, where the kids were on the school bus going from one place to the other with the lady that's driving the bus, is now being depicted as, we done picked up Pablo and them. They are turned around. You can't see their faces, with hands behind their back and handcuffs, and they're calling it the immigration bus.
Right, the Magic Immigration Bus. So, I mean, it started with the immigrants. They're rounding them up. They put them in concentration camps. You can call it what you want. That's what it is. And they are using them for slave labor. Now they're rounding up the homeless, and they're going to round them up and put them in concentration camps and use them as slave labor. So who's next? Who's next? Is it going to be people who have mental health problems? Who is it going to be? Because this is what they're doing. They're taking blocks of the population, and they are designating them as undesirable and not worthy of being in society, and utilizing them as slaves.
Well, I got to throw this into that conversation too. What is going on with these grown-ass, mostly white women and white men that are high school teachers that are sexually assaulting or trying to get with the kids? We had another one across the lake on yesterday. I'm like, why are y'all playing with the little children?
I see a lot of that on social media. Social media is bringing it all to your front door, right? And sometimes I wonder, why is my social media taking me to this spot? Like, why is it dropping me off in this land? Because I always get dropped off in the land where the teachers are molesting the children. I don't know what makes somebody want to relive their youth as a high school teacher by dating their student. And I use dating as the as a acceptable adjective. But we're seeing this more and more, and it's mostly women.
But the kids,
it's mostly women.
The kids are in it too. But I mean, kids don't make
the
decisions.
Kids gonna be kids, right? A high school teenage boy, I'm not gonna hold him accountable, and it's not his fault. He's a child. The adult woman, who is texting, and more than texting, a teenage boy.
She want that stamina.
Somebody's child.
That's what that is.
I think it's your attempt to relive your youth. I don't know what it is, or it's just a sick depravity, but we are seeing it more and more.
She want that.
But you just did like some of our callers. I'll take another topic for 500.
Nah, that was something else I added to that. You hear me when I said that?
You tell me how that related to Katrina.
That's when it started happening.
It did not start happening with Katrina.
It started happening more and more because of the fact that they had started those new schools, and those new school teachers that were coming in here were getting with the kids. That almost happened every week.
Well, I will say this. I will say, because I was on the front lines of
Brandon even said so.
Okay, because Brandon said it must be right.
I agree with you. Though.
I will say this.
Brandon, she heard that.
I will say that when they threw away the teachers like trash after Hurricane Katrina, teachers that had served these communities for 30, 40 years and were on the brink of retirement, teachers who had educated generations of students in a school. They brought in these kids from Teach for America that were just a few years older than
I
the
was going to
students.
say they were kids.
And those kids had no knowledge of our culture, no knowledge of our city, no knowledge of our kids. And, you know, I can't say for certain whether those people were crossing the line, but I would say when you bring in teachers from all over the country who are almost the same age as the kids, you create a situation where these kinds of things can happen.
We're trying to get with that ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. You heard this song? You never heard this song?
No.
You never heard this song? Yeah. That ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. Mm-hmm. All right, we got more coming up. Everybody hold tight.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
When it comes to family planning, should you go with a will or a trust?
A will is like leaving instructions to the court. It tells them who gets what, but your family still has to go through a succession, which can be costly and time-consuming.
A trust, on the other hand, avoids court altogether. So when the time comes, everything transfers smoothly to your loved ones.
It's a little more work up front, but way less hassle and expense later. Plan smart, save time, and take care of your family.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Extended through Labor Day, Louisiana residents get half off general admission to the National World War II Museum. Take advantage of 50% off and beat the summer heat at New Orleans' #1 attraction. Don't wait. Plan your visit at nationalworldwar2museum.org.
New Orleans is built to host, and at the New Orleans Ernest N. Memorial Convention Center, it is where big ideas, major events, and careers come together under one roof. As the 6th largest convention center in the country with a team recognized as a national top workplace, we are proud to power the events that keep our city moving forward. Our staff of more than 450 brings nearly 3,900 years of combined experience, an average of almost 9 years each. If you're looking for a robust benefits package, career stability, and opportunity, visit mccno.com to explore open positions today.
Did you hear the news? Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom has a new time. Catch us now every Wednesday at noon. Same program, same great conversations. Just a new time. So catch Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom this Wednesday and every Wednesday only on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
From Gentilly to New Orleans East, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. You just found out something new.
I did find out something new. I did. It never ceases to amaze me, the things that I find out that are new.
It is new, but it ain't new. Because you the one that brought it to the table talking about it in the first place.
I was talking about the issue. But
right,
I didn't
you're talking about the issue,
about
but you didn't talk about the
going on.
Right.
So it appears that my councilman and my neighborhood are embroiled in litigation. Mm-hmm. That's pretty nasty, and it could really have an adverse impact on Freddie King's reputation if these comments are indeed proven to be true, and they are displaying the text messages, so it looks like it may be. They have receipts, as we say in our Black community. So, the issue is that there was a developer who bought some property right next door to English Turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if
you're
driving into English Turn on English Turn Parkway, over to the left as you are driving into the community is this expansive tract of land that a woman named Zhang purchased, and she wanted to build a 278 unit housing development near English Turn. Well, apparently she has filed a federal discrimination lawsuit against Freddie King and others. And what she is claiming is that her company, Stanton Square, was blocked by the city council because of discriminatory opposition. The allegations have not been finally decided, but the content of the communications at issue in the lawsuit are pretty troubling. It appears that Zhang was referred to as a dragon lady and a China woman, all derogatorily
Discriminatory.
because she is Asian.
Right.
And let's be clear, those are racialized and gendered descriptions. They are not neutral discussions. They are not, they should not have been at issue when the conversation was supposed to be about drainage and traffic studies and engineering analysis and assessments of police, fire, or emergency response capacity with respect to why that apartment complex should not have been built next door to English Turn. Instead, they were racialized descriptions of an Asian American woman.
Mm-hmm.
The English Turn Property Owners Association maintains, however, that race had nothing to do with its opposition. It says that the neighborhood is a quote-unquote melting pot and that its concerns involved infrastructure, transportation, emergency response, and whether the promised housing would actually benefit the residents.
But if you're describing the lady and you calling her dragon woman and what else?
China woman.
China woman, and I don't know what else was said, but why you have to describe her that way?
You don't.
If that's not discriminatory. That's discriminatory.
Yeah, that's a problem. It is a problem. I mean, the use of these racialized descriptions of an Asian American woman are very problematic, and that has nothing to do with the neighborhood being a melting pot.
Mm-hmm.
The city reportedly argued that the developers' discrimination claims were especially implausible because council member Freddie King is black.
Mm.
That is not a serious legal or moral answer. A black person can discriminate against an Asian person. A woman can discriminate against another woman. A member of one historically marginalized group can participate in conduct that disadvantages another marginalized group. Our experience with discrimination should make us more sensitive to it and not legally incapable of committing it, right? But the question is not whether Freddie King is black. The question is what motivated the governmental decision. I mean, I understand that, but what did he say? What did others say? What information did they receive? Is that the issue? Or is the issue whether or not, based on the information, the development should have been there? Now, Council Member King is saying that his text, because they have the receipts, attributed to him were sarcastic in nature and not racist.
Mm.
According to his explanation, he was repeating what supporters of the project were accusing him of saying, not expressing his own belief. Text messages are frequently ambiguous. Tone can be difficult to establish from isolated language. But, what he was saying in his text messages does not appear to be cool. And the text messages are being widely reported, so we are not spreading a rumor here. But he basically said he didn't want people with bonnets coming next door to his neighborhood.
But that's Negro.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a problem for Freddie King.
Freddie King said that?
Freddie King. The comment is attributed to him. Now, he's saying that he is quoting what other people were saying. But I'm looking at the text messages.
Don't people in English Turn wear bonnets?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Okay. I'm not saying that being discriminatory. I'm just asking, don't they?
They do.
Okay.
We do. I'm gonna say we do. But that's what he basically put in his text message.
You think Freddie said that? He don't want people coming to English Turn that's wearing bonnets.
I'm gonna actually quote exactly what it says. Okay,
Is that in the email or in the text message too?
He said, "I don't want." This is Freddie King. I'm quoting from the exact text message.
That is a text message.
It says, okay, this is JJQ, whoever that is. What is he trying to say? Freddie King said, I voted to not allow a 300-unit apartment complex near English Turn, the sign-waving Negroes, to come to the meeting. And then JJQ said, laugh out loud, why didn't you vote for it, team? And then Freddie King said, I don't want dreadheads and bonnet wear fools next to me. And then JJQ said, boy, that's cold.
Boy,
that's cold. Now, I don't know who JJQ is.
I'm shocked. As an attorney, because he's also an attorney. First thing, I'm not even an attorney, but the first thing that should have been discovered in this text message, this must have been somebody you really trust. Because as an attorney, not even as a black man, but as an attorney, but you're a black man first, but as an attorney, you should have known better than to put anything like that in a text message that can be digitally saved for long periods of time in the first place. Am I wrong? Oh, I got you. Well, you got to run for office again.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it real.
What is wrong with you?
I'm gonna keep it real. It depends on who he's talking to.
That's why I said it must be somebody he really trusts.
If I'm talking to you,
yeah, you know, I ain't gonna be.
You my BFF, and I know, we have a joking way of talking to one another.
I done sent you some stuff in text message, but I know it's not going nowhere.
You differently than I'm gonna talk to people in the street that I don't really know.
But
okay?
you forgot who you were?
Right, and you would know if I'm joking or if I'm being real about it. I talk on the radio and say crazy stuff sometimes. My husband says that all the time. I can't believe you said that on the radio. But,
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just relaxed.
But
and
you
you're
ain't no
saying what's on
public
your mind.
official.
But I'm not a public official representing this community. And oh, man. But he got hit with that in his deposition.
Well, that's on the record.
That's on the record. The text messages are right here, Gerod.
I'll be damned.
Okay, they're right here. The text message was sent on February 3rd, 2023 at 12:53 a.m. So he got to be talking to a close friend at 12:53 a.m.
And there ain't no booty call.
So I don't know who JJQ is, but whoever JJQ is, maybe these were subpoenaed. Maybe they subpoenaed the cell phone records, and that's how they got this. I'm going to assume this close friend did not betray him like that because the friend is laughing along with him. So the context looks like the friend knows he's joking because the friend has smiley, laughing faces on it.
JJQ.
But this is problematic for him.
JJQ. I know you're listening. I need you to call in so that we can talk. What was y'all thinking?
But G, if I ran for public office tomorrow, there's gonna be people who are gonna download every episode of every reality check show, and they're gonna cut things from things I've said on this air to make me look really bad, right?
But you know
that's what people do.
But you know what you do? If you're gonna text, and look, I'm not a public official, and I have no plans on being one, but I ain't crazy neither. If you're going to have those type of conversations where you're going to text somebody, Negro, get you another phone.
I think that there's two problems that Freddie King is going to face with this comment. One, clearly, bonnets and dreads are tied more likely than not to black people. So you have made an intra-racism comment. You are talking about your own people. That's a problem. The next thing, though, is it's also classist to a certain extent, because I think in the context, he's basically saying, without saying it, I don't want poor people next to me. Okay?
But there's so many people that have dreads.
Well, yes, and you know what? Let me say this, and that's not tied to poor people, dreads and bonnets. Right, okay, but I think that's what the context, he's being two things. He's being intra-racist and he's being classist.
Yep.
Okay? And I think that is a problem for him. He's going to have to deal with that. Now, the irony of that is, this man has a wife and daughters. I bet you they all got on a bonnet that night. And I'm sure several of our neighbors got dreads. And half the people in the neighborhood putting on their bonnet at night. If you want to know, come to 291, baby. That's where I'm at. My bonnet's on my head at night.
Have mercy.
So I'm just saying, I just don't understand why, he would say something like that. And he's caught up now. He's caught up.
Oh, look, we all going to wear our bonnet next week. I'm going to wear a bonnet too. So we can all sit up here. I'm going to look like shit.
Roll on down the street, Freddie. Matter of fact, I might come outside tomorrow morning to get my mail with my bonnet on.
Not with your bonnet on. Please
so you
don't.
can see that you do have neighbors that live inside the gate.
And that's going to make.
With a bonnet on.
And that's going to make the next billboard here. All right. More coming up, y'all. We got to take a break. Oh, that's so funny. More coming up, y'all. We got to take the break next. And news.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Mike Island with BIN News Now. An ICE officer at the center of an extradition fight has been released from a Texas jail. Democratic officials in Minnesota lost an extradition battle with Republican officials in Texas over Officer Christian Castro, who was charged after shooting and wounding a Venezuelan immigrant in January. It's unknown at this time if Castro will have to eventually appear in court to answer those charges. Jury deliberations will continue today in the Lindsay Clancy triple murder trial in Massachusetts. Clancy admits to strangling her 3 young children in 2023, but pleaded not guilty in 3 counts of first-degree murder. General Mills has removed artificial colors from all of its cereals. According to the company, the move means that brands including Lucky Charms and Trix are now made and available without synthetic color additives. I'm Mike Island. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the free iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. It's quitting time. Folks are getting off work. Yes, indeed. After 5 o'clock now. On your way home for the weekend, please drive with care. Keep your dial locked in. We got the elaborate one.
The one with the bonnet.
You got a bonnet?
The one with the bonnet in the same neighborhood as Freddie King.
And she got those shoes, the bunny ear.
I got the bunny ear slippers too, Freddie.
That's damn.
And
shame.
I got a house coat. I might have to come outside.
I know somebody that got a house coat.
Right. I think I'll go in my backyard tomorrow, Freddie. If you want to go golf at the 15th hole, you can see me from the 15th hole in my backyard with my bonnet and my house coat and my slippers.
And the slippers.
I'll be up around. No, I got to go to the NAACP banquet, so I'm going to be up early. I'm going to be letting the dog out, I guess, about 6:30, Freddie, if you want to roll around.
You cannot wear that to the NAACP
No, I'm
banquet?
going to let the dog out at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
So if he goes to the 15th hole at 6:30, he'll see me with my bonnet, my house coat, and my bunny slippers on, letting Nola out to use the bathroom. And then maybe you'll see that was a very inappropriate comment, tone deaf to most of your black female neighbors who live in English Turn. But I got to tell y'all, English Turn is cutting up. Oh, my God, we cutting up. Because we have this story with Freddie King going on. I got the drama, the Freddie King situation. I had the news crews in my neighborhood this week because they were all filming Judge Kim Holmes' house because,
the $800,000
Yeah,
house?
they were all out there filming that house. The Orleans Parish Criminal District Court Judge Kim Holmes faced public scrutiny after...
Did we talk about that?
No.
We didn't?
Local investigative reporting revealed that her former fiancé, accountant Arthur Allen, transferred full ownership of a $765,000 home in English Turn to her around the time he was facing federal pandemic relief fraud charges.
Judge Holmes.
That's around the corner from me.
Call me, girl, when y'all had a party.
We cutting up in English Turn.
Call me. I want to come to the
English
party.
Turns. I mean, my goodness.
I don't like y'all's gates neither.
I've been there for 24 years. All you new people moving to my neighborhood are cutting up.
You sound like NIMBY.
Well, it's the truth. I've been there a long time. I was there when Swagman was a sweet shop. And now, y'all cutting up.
Call me, Judge. I need to know when the party is. We coming up in there, and I'm coming with my bonnets. I might even wear my bunny shoes.
I think we should have a party with muumuus and bonnets.
That's what I'm talking about. And what's the one the men wear? The do-rags.
Maybe we'll turn our funky 80s party that Wendell Pierce wants to do
into a do-rag.
Into a do-rag bonnet muumuu party.
There we go. Howard said, it's the English term projects.
It might be, Howard. I don't know. I've been living there a long time, right? I was one of the first people to move into that neighborhood 24 years ago, right?
But I'm trying to figure out.
And now, my goodness, it is scandalous.
So the judge accepted from her then fiance a $750,000, $800,000 house and a Corvette.
The Corvette, she told them that they were no longer together.
Right.
Yet the Corvette was parked in her parking spot at criminal court.
So
and they took a picture of it.
So if y'all not together anymore, and because he's more than likely going to have to pay his debt to society with this alleged issue of stealing money from what? From the PPP or whatever that was that they caught him with. I'm not certain. I need to look it up, and I don't want to put that out there. And I did say alleged, but he transferred
on
that house.
January 9th,
right?
2026, while negotiating a guilty plea, Allen transferred his remaining 50% ownership stake to Holmes. In November of 2025, Allen purchased the 4,400 square foot home.
Wait a minute, go back. Mm-hmm. You said 50%.
I'm going to give you the timeline. In November of 2025, Allen purchased the 4,400 square foot home for $765,000 and immediately deeded 50% of it to Holmes.
That's
so
his portion.
He gave her half of it in November of 2025. He still owned the other half.
So we don't know.
But then in January, when he was about to go down,
he gave her the other half.
He gave her the other half, which means she owns the whole thing.
So the part that he gave her, she had to pay for it too. Because the house is not paid for. So she had to pay for half.
I don't know that the house is not paid for.
It's not. It's not.
Where does it say that?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But now she's got to pay for the whole house.
Right. And then during Allen's sentencing hearing in August 2026, which was recently, United States District Judge Jay Zaney stated he felt duped by the timing of the asset transfer and revoked the tentative plan for a lighter sentence, ultimately giving Allen 2 years in federal prison. Now, to be fair to Judge Holmes stated that she and Allen dissolved their engagement around Mardi Gras 2026 and that she is unaware of his criminal charges or illegal activity until he entered his plea deal in April of 2026.
Now, the car was not a car that they bought out because that was a what, $90,000 car?
Oh, that's
Corvette?
I don't know. That looks like a new one, and they're much more expensive than $90,000.
They leased it. They didn't buy it straight out. So it's leased. So she's responsible for the lease. And I think she said in the story that she was going to turn it back in after they paid off the lease. Now, the question that I had was this assumed and portrayed to the people like he bought this house and he gave it to her, and he bought this car and he gave it to her? The other part of this that is concerning to me that I don't know if anybody else asked the question, but I need to ask the question. If we not together no more, I'm not going to give you my house, no car. Now, here's the other part that I'm going to tell you about.
You're not just doling out $765,000 houses to ladies you're not dating no more?
I'm sorry. That's booty every day of the week, 2-3 times a day. Every man that understood, heard me, they know what I'm talking about. But I'm looking around and saying to myself, are we hearing the whole story? I heard the judge say I felt duped. But are you feeling duped because y'all thought that y'all were going to be able to get a house that's worth over $800,000 in this process because you're going to take it back because of the money that he allegedly stole?
Yeah, I think that was their plan.
Now that you don't have the house, the deed, or any of that in his name, you feeling duped because you don't have no assets to collect for that money to be returned.
I think this is so unfortunate for Judge Holmes. I know Judge Holmes. She is a lovely person, and I'm so sorry that she's gotten herself hooked up in this situation.
You don't think she knew?
I can't say whether or not she knew, but I would think that if someone I was that closely aligned with, living with, had criminal trouble, I would know about it.
So the question,
and it just didn't happen. He had to be under investigation long before he pled guilty.
Oh, so let me go ahead on and break this part down. And I thought that was very nice of you. You get the nice ward today. You not being the devil that you usually be. Went away. You got the nice ward. Hell yeah, she knew. You know why?
I think she knew.
She had to know. Guess why? You can't get a house unless you signed for it. Yeah. Your signature. And it has to go through a notary.
No, I think she's trying to say that she didn't know he was having criminal problems when she accepted the donations of the house, right? But I just find it hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that if my husband, who I live with, was being accused of a federal crime and dealing with the U.S. Attorney's Office and the feds, the FBI and all these people, that I would not know that that's what he was doing and dealing with and trying to transfer the assets to me to protect them while he knew he was going to prison because he was pleading guilty.
So protect the assets.
Protect the assets. I think that's what they were doing.
And that's why I think the judge is saying, I feel duped. Because they thought they were going to get those assets, and now you're not. Because it's not in his name.
I don't know that they're not. I don't think this is over.
Now,
and I think this is a major problem. And now that you have Canizero over the Judicial Ethics Committee, and he's armed with that law created in the legislature that you can remove judges for malfeasance and moral problems, this may be a problem.
Yeah, I think it's
for Judge Holmes.
I do think it's a problem. But love made people do some craziness. And I do think that this is crazy.
Oh, look, ask Mary J. Baby. This is straight out the Mary J. Blige playlist.
No, you didn't go to
my ex-fiance got in trouble with the feds, and he gave me the property, and now I'm all over the paper. This is straight out of a Mary J. Blige song. I can't believe you're going down like this.
I'm gonna take the telephone call on this one, Mary J.
Oh,
just in case.
This is hood love. I don't know what to say about it. This is what this is. Real.
What you say, cousin? Cousin?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing, my favorite broadcasting people?
Oh, man, we trying to hang in here. How you doing?
Look, it is well anytime I'm talking to my relatives and friends.
Now let me ask you, do you think that she knew?
Look, with your permission, I'd like to do a public service announcement.
Okay, yep, go ahead.
All right. On behalf of St. John Institution Missionary Baptist Church, located 2538 Jackson Avenue, that's Jackson and Magnolia, we've been in this location since 1955. We want to reintroduce ourselves to a Central City area as well as the listening community. We are having Feed the Hungry tomorrow and a free clothes giveaway from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The city is welcome to come. We would like you to worship with us on Sunday. That'll be 11 o'clock, and meet our new pastor, which we had from 2 years, for 2 years. So that's tomorrow, 10 to 2, 2530 Jackson Avenue, Jackson and Magnolia, right across where Campo Hardware Store used to be.
So what y'all giving away?
We're giving away Feed the Hungry Feed the hungry.
Oh, you're feeding the hungry. Okay. All right.
Feed the hungry. Not
What's
the
on the
homeless.
menu, though?
Feed
What's
the
on the
hungry.
menu?
Come and see.
I'm telling you,
Look, soul food.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it's about giving away the clothes, but it's little refreshments. And like I say, reintroduce ourselves to the community. This is our community outreach program. We do it once a year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I appreciate you.
What time again? Give the time
give
again.
Me this opportunity.
Give the time and the location again.
All right. 2538 Jackson Avenue. That's Jackson and Magnolia Street, across from where Campbell Hardware Store used to be, and also where Second Corinthian Church is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and just come, look, see, ask for me for the special.
Yeah, because you is special. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
Well, look, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna get guess what we're gonna do? You and I are gonna get together and do our own giveaway. Guess what we're gonna be giving away? Bonnets.
Okay, all right.
I bet you everybody and their mama show up.
Look, yeah. At 8:00 at the NAACP breakfast. I'll see you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yes, indeed. We're gonna do a bonnet giveaway one day. I bet you everybody show up. I bet you.
You know, I was thinking about how I would advise Freddie King in this situation.
Do a bonnet giveaway.
I think he needs to acknowledge the difference between intent and impact.
You sound hurt behind this. You really do.
Well, you know, I really think that Freddie King had to have been talking to somebody who he felt very comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And because the other person is making a laughing emoji in the text, I think he was joking with a close friend, particularly since it's 12:58 in the morning. Okay. And it's unfortunate that this text message has hit the light of day and is now being utilized in litigation against him and against the English Term Property Owners Association. And unfortunately, it's going to impact him as a politician. I think if I were Freddie, I would have to confess that I didn't mean it to be said like this. I do not believe, if I were him, this is what I think I would say. I do not believe my decision was motivated by race or national origin. At the same time, I understand why the disclosed communications raised serious concerns about whether discriminatory attitudes entered the public process. The concern deserves a substantive response and not a dismissal. And I do apologize if this was, for being offensive.
Nope. You got to own this one.
I know. I think that's what I'm saying. I think he has to apologize for being offensive.
Nope. Just say I was offensive. Just say, look, I know I was offensive. I was joking with someone that I was close to, and that's all that was. But because if you think about it for a minute, let me see. Do white women wear bonnets?
They do now because they're all over TikTok thanking the black girls for turning them on to the bonnets.
Do Chinese women wear bonnets?
The bonnets are coming from China, so I would think they wear bonnets.
Well, so does the hair.
I think they come from Korea. A lot of the
But
bonnets.
do they wear them?
Well, I don't know if they wear them, but I do know the white women are thanking black women for two things on TikTok: the bonnets and our shower routine. They're all calling the black girl shower the best thing they've ever done.
Stole everything else. You might as well.
Right, exactly.
But do the Chinese women and black women are known? I mean, this is something that's not discriminatory. It is the truth. Black women are known for wearing the bonnets. So it's going to be said that way and carried that way, but you ought to make sure that, hey, look, I said this to somebody that I knew very closely as a laughing matter, but I guess it's not a laughing matter when you're looking at it and it's being discriminatory, and I apologize. Own it and leave it at that. Own it.
He's got to do something because this is going to be very damaging to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very damaging.
I tell you what, let's do the break here. We'll come back, have some more conversation because I see Galloway then got on the phone. We'll take Galloway in just a minute. Let us do our break. We'll be right back.
off the top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Folks, what happened with our city's trash service is, well, trash. It's ridiculous and unacceptable. New Orleans finds itself burdened by a sanitation system that lost $21 million last year. And those of us who call the Crescent City home pay $24 a month, but that doesn't even come close to what City Hall is paying for trash pickup. And what's worse, we may have to pay more. So just how in the hell did we get here? Part of the answer can be found several years ago. Richards Disposal was collecting garbage in much of the city. The company had its problems, missed pickups and serious complaints following Hurricane Ida and during the COVID pandemic. To be fair, the city had every right to demand better. But in 2023, Richards made an interesting proposal, offering to extend their contract in a large portion of the city for 3 years, collecting garbage for only $18.75 per household. The company claimed that would save New Orleans more than $19 million. But the city declined. Instead, the Cantrell administration awarded that service area contract to IV Waste Management for 7 years. The administration argued that IV Waste offered better service, new equipment, recycling, GPS tracking, and greater accountability. The majority of the city council approved it. Councilman Oliver Thomas was the only vote against it. We've since learned now from the legislative auditor that the city spent more than $59 million last year in sanitation services, while collecting only about $38 million in sanitation revenue. The auditor discovered something else that's almost unbelievable. The city may have been paying for pickups at thousands of addresses that were vacant, duplicated, or otherwise ineligible. Mayor Helena Moreno didn't simply inherit the problem, though. She was a member of the city council when it approved the IV Waste contract. And remember, only one councilman, Oliver Thomas, voted no. But that doesn't mean anyone could have foreseen the predicament that followed. And Mayor Moreno certainly deserves credit for confronting the sanitation deficit. But the people who approve major public contracts have an obligation to ask before casting their votes. What are we buying? Is there a less expensive way to get the job done? So, before City Hall asks taxpayers to pay more for garbage collection, it owes us an accounting of just how we ended up paying so damn much in the first place. This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Late nights are made for chillin', and you can do just that every Sunday night at 10 p.m. as DJ Wick brings you The Love Zone. It's the perfect way to top off your weekend with your favorite old and new school ballads. So sit back, relax, and let DJ Wick take you to the Love Zone on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Hey, New Orleans, it's Doc Griggs. Tune in every Thursday from 12 to 1 p.m. for Doc Talk and get checked, get fit, get moving.
Step back into time and experience the moments that shaped our world at the National World War II Museum. This world-renowned museum brings history to life, telling the stories of the American experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. From immersive exhibits to powerful personal stories, this is more than a museum. Go to nationalww2museum.org and plan your visit today.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 1230 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
It's right back at you. Right back at you. Galloway, what's going on with you, man?
What's going on, Brother Gerod?
How you doing?
Oh, man, it's Friday. How you doing, Council?
I am doing well.
Well, two things that crossed my mind that kind of made me chuckle today. Freddie King, you need a PR person. All you got to do is pay me a case of 40, and I dress Helena up in a bonnet and y'all can sit there and go on TV together.
Not the case of 40s. The case of 40s?
I might be able to hire you at that rate.
Yes, indeed.
I'm telling you, I'm 100%. Hey, I'm guaranteed. See, you put Helena in a bonnet, y'all take pictures, and y'all can sing that song like Barney sing. I love you, you love me. We want to be happy family.
I'm looking like Barney.
Yeah. And all of them just go away. And then, you got the Kanye West concert in Orleans tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know his little buddy Milo. He didn't got arrested by ICE.
Yes, indeed.
So he flew into Louisiana and got arrested by ICE. He's in a detention center right now. I said, you cannot make New Orleans up, man. Just unbelievable stuff, man.
That Kanye concert is causing all kinds of problems with the Jewish community here in New Orleans.
But, I say this, Miss Suzette, and out of respect for the Jewish community, because my religion is Judaism. Y'all had no problem when Kanye West got on TV and said slavery was a choice.
Right.
You had no problem when Kanye West got on TV and dressed up in a black KKK outfit. So now he says something about the Jewish community. Now he's anti-this and that. Black folks, we've been dealing with Kanye West ever since his mother passed away and that man went crazy.
And he needed some mental health help. Yes.
Well, they were protesting. They didn't want the concert to be allowed. Jewish organizations and synagogue leaders throughout New Orleans expressed serious concerns because of Ye's history of anti-Semitic statements, praise of Adolf Hitler, promotion of Nazi imagery, and the release in 2025 of a song entitled Heil Hitler.
But you know what? When they say that, ask them how many people in World War II who was considered quarter Jews and half Jews actually fought for Hitler. A lot of their history they don't want to talk about. Go back to World War One. A lot of them are over 150,000 of them again fought for Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot that can go on with that. And once again, where was the Jewish community when folks said, when black people said, "No, Kanye, you going too far"?
Yeah,
they said nothing.
Well, a Jewish community was complaining that the Caesars Superdome is owned by the state of Louisiana, and that because their taxpayer dollars are going to that public investment, that they felt the government could or should ban this controversial artist, is what they said.
Well, should I ban and protest every piece of tax dollar that goes to that country that they call Israel now, that's actually committing genocide?
And look, you don't have to even go that far. What about all these companies now that have anti-DEI and anti-black practices?
Well, I would even go as far as saying that
dollars.
my money goes toward state buildings and the upkeep of them, just like anybody that is Jewish, white, or any other facility. And we have not had any relief from the 400 years of slavery that we've been through.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
the event staff had to be specially trained for this event. They're saying that they had to receive special training from the ADL Center on Extremism to recognize symbols associated with hate groups at this particular concert.
You got two IDF soldiers right now in Colombia, up in New York. They were posing as Palestinian Hamas soldiers, talking stuff to get people excited. They got caught. It's all over the internet. Hamas soldiers, but they were IDF. So these folks, man, those Karzais and those folks from Poland and Ukraine that moved over there and always want to play victim, it don't fly with me, man. Everybody has been through it. Why don't that same Jewish community go right down there to Plantation Row in New Orleans and protest when Caucasian people have weddings at those plantation homes? Because if I had a wedding at Auschwitz, which I've been to, and it's a humbling sight to go to Auschwitz, I don't think anybody in their right mind would want to get married there. So they want to play victim all the time, but when it's only convenient to them. Now, I'm not a fan of Kanye West, because that man made a song about marrying a gold digger, and he married a gold digger and had 3 kids with her, and now everybody crazy. Listen, I would not look at a Kardashian. If I seen a Kardashian, I would run faster than Carl Lewis. Them folks are cursed. That boy mine ain't right. But the only thing I can say about this, and I'm going to get off the phone, Kanye West said it best. George Bush don't care about black people. Now, y'all have a good day. Galloway up out of here. Happy weekend.
All right, Galloway.
Galloway said that just like my grandmother would. That boy of mine ain't right.
That boy of mine ain't
That
right.
boy of mine ain't right.
Yep.
And he's right. You know, it's a shame that this concert, with all of its foolery, is going to happen on such a historic day. I mean, I don't know if people realize it, but on August 28th of 1955, Emmett Till was murdered. On this day, August 28th of 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King stood at the Lincoln Memorial and demanded jobs and freedom. And look where we are today.
And
Still demanding jobs and freedom.
Let's not forget that this weekend, 21 years ago,
Katrina, we were being told to evacuate.
Yep. So, Miss Morgan?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Miss Morgan Clevenger?
Ooh, I'm going to tell you, Gerard, it's been a rough week or so. You know, we're a week from our friend, our mentor, Mr. Jerome Big Duck Smith.
Yeah.
Who, that was the first time I ever went in city council with him 50 years ago. And he told me every time, hold the line, speak up, you know, and this is that moment that we all need to be aware of what's going on with this sanitation fee increase that's being pushed through very rapidly. We know the mayor, this current mayor, has been talking about it for the last, few months.
Well, we've been talking about it on here for the last 2 months, but we've been talking about it on here for the last 10 and a half years.
Years, exactly.
And then the other part of that is I just happen to have an attorney that is sitting right beside me that has made it a very poignant decision to let them know that the number one thing that you got to do, if this city cannot afford those trash contracts, that they have the right to end them, and let's go ahead on and rebid. When you got Richard's Disposal saying that if he had the contract, he could save us $19 million.
They have a clause in the contract that's termination for convenience. They could terminate it at will, and they could go with a different company that could do it for $19 million less and give us 2 days of sanitation services.
And recycling.
And so what's happening now is that move by the mayor has swiftly come into play at the city council. And a very small agenda item last week came into a full-blown presentation by the CAO, Joe Geruso, the chief of staff, the legislative auditor, the director of sanitation yesterday, and at a committee meeting. And what it did was it raised more questions than answers. And I do commend some of the city council members for asking some hard questions, but they did not get sufficient answers. And the premise of this fee increase is that supposedly we are running in a deficit. I never say that word right.
Deficit.
Deficit. Thank you, Suzette. But here's the real deal. I'm looking at this handout, and they say in 2021 the deficit was 3.8 million, and it increased in 2023 to 5.4 million. Now this is after Hurricane Ida, right? In 2024, the deficit ballooned to 17.1 million, and in 2026 it's 24.7. What came out at this meeting yesterday was apparently there's 21,000 ghost addresses, meaning they're either non-existent or they're duplicates or whatever. But the contractors have been getting paid.
Right.
Yeah, I talked about that last week.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But Morgan, the thing that need to come out about that with those ghost folks is the fact that at one point in time when Richard's Disposal and Metro Disposal had those contracts, they relied on the OIG's office to find out were they being overbilled or not. So Dr. Cowan enlisted his cronies, the kids of those different universities, to follow every truck from both of those different businesses to see were they picking up trash that they were not supposed to be. And they came back with that the city were underpaying them to pick up the trash that they were supposed to be picking up.
Right.
I think it was in the neighborhood of about $3 million.
Right. Well, now we're talking about $26 million. But what we're asking again is and even Councilmember Willard asked that very specific question. Okay, well, can we claw any of that money back? And they told him no.
I said that last week, and they can claw the money back. If the service was not performed, there is a law that says that you can't pay for a service not performed, right? They can claw it back.
And they should. And before we do any kind of fee increase, we need to get all this straightened out and get the public engaged, because this is happening literally not with there were only 2 of us from the community in that meeting yesterday. They're rushing to a vote, full council vote, next Thursday, September 3rd, the beginning of the holiday weekend. And they're wanting to get it approved and put it on our bills starting October 1st. And then it would run through the end of the year, but this ordinance would say, okay, well, at the end of 2026, in 2027, we're going to tie that fee to an adjustable rate tied to inflation.
What?
Which is a very poor way to deliver services, municipal services.
So we're talking about another, $8?
Yes, but the point is that, most of our population is making under $40,000 a year and less, and they're already crushed by major utility costs. But I think what really has to happen is explain to us, the public, in detail, for real, where is this $20 million? And if you're using that as a reason to make this increase, then you got to explain it before anything else happens.
I keep finding myself in the position of having to tell a city attorney how to do her job. The city may be able to claw back money, obtain contractual credits, or offset future payments if the contracts were paid for locations that were non-existent or ineligible, or no compensable service was rendered. Okay? The city council needs to obtain and publish the complete sanitation contracts, amendments, invoices, and payment certifications. And they need to specifically ask some questions of the contractor. And you need to look at the contract, city attorney, and see if the document contains contract prices, annual adjustments, fuel or volume payments, recycling compensation, equipment requirements, emergency payments, change orders, or contract extensions. And you need to do an audit to see if they knew that the addresses were not factual. Like if you're delivering and you're going to an empty lot and there's nothing there, you clearly know to stop delivering to that address, right? So, if they're delivering to non-existing addresses, duplicate addresses, vacant lots, or abandoned structures, then they need to report that to the city, and it should have been reduced. To not do that and to continue to receive payment for an empty lot is a fraudulent act.
Thank you. And another concern is that in their making their case yesterday for the fee increase and why there is a $20 million deficit, they also mentioned, Director Torrey also mentioned that the current contractor had to pay we paid actually for upgrades and new equipment. We paid for that, the taxpayers. So why are we paying
a private
company's equipment?
Right.
And is that part of the $20 million?
And Louisiana law recognizes recovery called restitution when one party receives a payment that was not actually due. So the city may argue that the amounts paid for phantom or duplicated locations needs to be returned under Louisiana Civil Code Article 2298.
Me and Suzette might have to go to that meeting next.
Oh, my goodness. What they need to do, seriously, is maybe they shouldn't file suit immediately because that would just tie it all up in litigation. But they do need to go back to the table and either nullify the contract for convenience and put it out to public bid again, or negotiate or impose credits against future contractor payments for the offset for delivering to addresses that did not exist.
Mm-hmm.
They need a credit for that.
And Morgan, you know just as well as I do that everywhere that there has been a contract with this company that is currently our trash vendor, whether it's here, Kenner, or Metairie, there's been a problem with this vendor legally.
But before the city council should require anybody to pay an additional amount of money, any taxpayer, right? They need to produce all the sanitation contracts and amendments for transparency, identify every contractor's payment formula, validate the $20,000 questionable locations, okay? Make sure that that's true. Determine when each invalid location entered the database.
It's not $20,000. It's 20,000.
20,000 locations. Right.
Yeah.
Calculate the payments connected to each location. Compare the invoices with GPS, cart lift, and route records, and identify who certified these invoices in the first place. Because that person needs to go.
So you're absolutely right and correct. And I hope your legal knowledge on this, I hope, will reach the ears of the city council and the people.
They listen.
Yeah, I hope so. The administration is saying that they're going to rectify the 21,000 ghost addresses, later, afterwards, right? So, but no, we must demand that this be addressed now. And the other concern is this equipment purchases, but also just the whole thing and the way it's being done without community participation. And when it affects everyone, we just can't keep going down the road like this.
Well, insanity. It's insanity doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
But Morgan, we've been down this route before when the sanitation contracts were up. But my question is, because we sat down one time before and started talking about these things, and one of which has been the increase, but not increase in service. The increase in money, but no increases in services.
And I will address that again, because what we're seeing now, as we have seen most of our lives as New Orleanians at an age that I think we're at, municipal services were provided in-house. Mm-hmm. Sanitation was part of a city agency,
and that was one of the issues that we brought up. Why are we using vendors?
Contracts.
Right.
Third-party contracts are crushing our city. They're extracting money out of our city with very little accountability or oversight. So we need to move away from that immediately. And this may be that moment if we can get the momentum to say, hey, we have to move away from that. Obviously, we can't stop trash collection. Well, we did it for Ida, right?
Well, they asked the question about why do you all need twice a week services? And everybody spoke up and said, hey, New Orleans services or trash services have to be different than any other way in the world. And the reason why is because we are, number one, we live in an area of the country where it is super hot. We have a lot of primates of people and different running around. And then the other part of it, we have all that seafood and all those different things in the trash cans. It stinks.
I guess my problem.
It's a public health hazard, to be honest with you.
I guess my problem with all of this is that New Orleans keeps repeating this same cycle of poor oversight of contracts, questionable contracts, missing accountability, and audits revealing waste after the fact, and then a request that residents pay the bill.
That's right. And we see it with Entergy. We see it with all these private companies. I mean, Entergy used to be Nazi. Now it's a shareholder company that's only interested in profit. And it becomes an extraction situation. But I also want to mention that Councilmember Hughes was actually very vocal, and he is holding 2 town halls on this issue in New Orleans East next week. And I commend him for that. I certainly wish the administration and the council had done this prior to this, vote.
Well, we need to show up on Thursday and shut it down. That's what we need to do, shut that vote down. And be very vocal to the point, Morgan, you know how we used to do? We used to go in there so they couldn't vote.
That's right.
So we need to be in there Thursday shutting it down.
We're also in an age where, technology, everybody, those council staff, they want to see the emails and the phone calls. That's how they measure public response a lot of times. So we urge everybody to call all the council people, not just your council person, and the mayor's office, and let them know how you feel. A lot of the online comments, since the media covered this yesterday, have been very focused about, no, we don't want it unless we go back to 2 pickups per week. But I think the issue is bigger. It's like, what happened to the money? Where's the money? But, Leslie Harris and another council person asked that panel, what's the comparison to Baton Rouge? And the panel could not answer her. They said, we'll get back to you. But when the question of Jefferson Parish came up, it's a fact. It's, approximately $22 a month.
Right.
And you get twice a week pickup.
Right.
So it's not that it can't be done. We have to have the will to force it to be done correctly.
So let me throw this into the conversation piece, and I know we got to take the break here. This part is something. I don't want my vendor, number one, charging me an arm and a leg to do a service that is being. We can all sit here and say, they do a good job of picking up the trash and washing the roads or whatever. But I need you to do the job of making sure that it's done twice a week. That's number one. And number two, isn't it funny that we're picking up and saying, let's take up for this vendor and pay him all this money. But this is the vendor that also supplies all the money to all the political standbys that are looking for. So I guess he's getting a whole bunch of money so he can sink it back into political campaigns.
Yeah, I hear you on that. And he was in the audience yesterday.
I bet.
Yes, he was. But what was interesting, I thought, a lot of people, particularly nowadays, feel like they cannot make a difference, that their voice doesn't matter. And so...
Well, let's rally all the people Thursday to show up.
We got to do the rallying right now and get people motivated because this will affect every single person. And the fact is, if you make 70, 80, 100,000 like our council people do, 300,000, 250 like our deputy mayors and our CEO does, 400,000 like our sewage and water board, and a lot of the upper echelon folks in the city, that's not going to hurt them.
No.
That fee increase is not going to hurt them.
No.
But it will hurt the larger population of New Orleans, especially our seniors, especially fixed income.
Well, Morgan, I got something for you.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
So there's an ordinance that states, because this dates back to Cantrell, right? When this city council stated that anybody that is a director in a director's position for the city council or for the city of New Orleans, that the city council has to agree and say that that person can get that job, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What happened this year? None of those folks have been went through the process of the city council saying yay or nay about them having those jobs.
3 out of 11.
Right. And so what that represents...
They're operating illegally. They have broken their own law.
And not only that, when we're talking about, putting the burden of everything back on the citizens and city workers who get paid the least are getting furloughs, and that's really having an impact on city services. I don't know if you looked at Broad Street from Tulane to Florida. It is so overgrown right now, and we keep getting told, too many people on furlough, we can't get the grass cut. So what happened to basic services? But at the same time, if you have all these furloughs, where are we really talking about the money? Because with the 6 deputy mayors, just alone, those salaries are $1.5 million.
Yep.
That doesn't include office staff, offices, computers, drivers, cars.
She's paying her friends.
Yep. Well, look, Morgan, we got to go because we got to take a break.
On the high note, which is let's rally the folks, keep this conversation out there, and encourage everybody to get involved in this issue because it's going to affect you.
Yep.
And we need to know the answer. So thank y'all so much for letting me come on and speak about this, and I
Thank
really
you, Ms.
appreciate
Clevenger.
everything you do. Okay.
Appreciate you much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, y'all, more coming up. Everybody holding on, too. Hold on. Coming right back.
Taking action to improve your health is within your reach. Ochsner Health, Johnson & Johnson, and the Abundant Life Tabernacle Full Gospel Baptist Church are hosting a men's health event 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Saturday, September 5th. Attend this important prostate cancer awareness event at Abundant Life Church, 1701 Franklin Avenue. Learn more about prostate health at no cost Saturday, September 5th. Be proactive. Stay healthy.
Greetings and salutations. I am Elwood B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
This is Andronika Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Hi, my name is Shirley Simon.
I am Dr. Brenda Jackson.
Hello, my name is Linda Payson. We are all members of the NAACP New Orleans branch, and we would like to invite you to our President's Legacy Breakfast.
The President's Legacy Breakfast will be held on Saturday, August 29th, 8:30 a.m. at the Hilton Riverside Hotel.
Get your tickets today at eventbrite.com for $100 or call the NAACP at 504-434-8965.
Get in on the conversation at 504-582-9422. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Friends.
It be your friends. It be your friends. Yes, indeed. All right, folks, welcome back. A few minutes here left before we got to go. Cedric.
Hello. Happy Friday. Right quickly. Everybody expects us to just apologize or just to continue to accept. Right now, we are celebrating the many contributions of Jerome Big Duck Smith, a man who completed his call to duty, but where is our call to action? Councilman Freddie King, man, don't apologize for nothing. Now, I would advise you to get some to get you a spokesperson, and the person that I recommend would be the former councilman Oliver Thomas. Judge Holmes, I'm gonna vote for you more than ever now. Why are we always the people that's apologizing? If anything, because I saw Councilman Freddie King out there last Friday for the Big Duck celebration. I saw him out there Monday and I believe Tuesday for the celebration. If anything, he's coming into his own. And you know what? Let him hang, let him hang, let him hang. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right, Cedric. That was not a good reference with all the hangings that's happening across the country. Terry. Terry.
Hello.
What's happening?
All right. How you doing? I'll be
Good,
quick.
man.
How you doing this evening?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing fabulous. Okay. The problem is when it's election time, these people come and they say, oh, yes, we listen to everything you say. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Only during the election time. After they get elected, then it's not about the people. It's about what everybody else is doing and trying to keep their position. Next thing about Kanye West. He made a tennis shoe. You know how like the Velcro go around your ankle?
Mm-hmm.
He had one that looked like a shackle. Tried to throw that on the young black folks. They said, no, thank you. Then he said, we're going to all go around in skirts like the people did with the bagpipes. And that didn't work neither. The man has lost his mind, and he's trying to lead everybody in the crazy direction he is in.
Okay.
But you keep doing the same thing over and over again. They tell you one thing, and then they do something different. I don't care what you tell me. You can tell me anything. I'll vote on people what they do.
I got you.
You have a good.
All right, Terry. Thank you, brother. All right. Well, it's about that time. So let me go ahead on and do my little piece. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have, I think, some camaraderie. I think that we're also going to learn a lot. I'm glad I talked to, because I'm responsible for the Congressman, Troy Carter. I talked to his people today. He is going to come in and do his thing tomorrow morning and have some great conversation. We will be, meeting to the old guard, because it's the President's Legacy Breakfast. The breakfast is going to be wonderful, so I'm hoping that more people will come. I know that some folks have told me that it's $100 and I didn't have it and all of this other. This is the only person that I know that like, oh, I can pay for it. You whip out more $100. I was like, do you have a 20?
You're going to get me busted in the head when I walk out the door.
I've never seen somebody just reach in their purse and be like, hey, here you go, you 100.
But it's a great cause. The NAACP New Orleans branch President's Legacy Breakfast tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. at the Hilton New Orleans Riverside, St. Charles Ballroom, 3rd floor, 2 Poydras Street, New Orleans. Gerard is making it rain with the $100 I just gave him for my tickets. But come on out, please, and stay informed, stay engaged, and support the organizations doing the work.
People that do want to come and you want to come to the to the breakfast, yes, you can pay at the door. So we made that an issue. So they'll have some change for you. You can pay. Don't come with no credit card, because they do not have a credit card system. That is at the Hilton Riverwalk tomorrow morning. Guest speaker will be Congressman Troy Carter. I'll be your MC. I'm going to introduce my crew, because I
will be holding Gerard's table down.
Because I got the table. I got the big Negro table. That's what I got, the big Negro table. Everybody at my table gonna be big Negro. They're gonna be like, Gerard knows some folks, huh? And we all gonna have the song playing. Gerard on the radio. And if you're not a big Negro, you gotta go.
You can't sit with us?
I gotta sit at the dais.
I know.
Because I'm the MC. So I'm hoping to see a lot of folks in the morning. Please come. Show the NAACP support. And I can say a whole lot more, but I'm not going to get on to my soapbox. And the reason why I know that this is important is because of the fact that we want to get that NAACP that's going to stand up and be able to question a lot of the stuff that's going on. And this is going to be a great recruitment tool for some of the younger folks. It's no joke. It's not a laughing matter. And it is the truth that the majority of the folks that are active with the New Orleans branch of the NAACP are my elders. And I'm 60.
We have to get some youth in that organization for it to stay viable.
Yes. So y'all come on, let's recruit. Let's make sure we do it. Just a 1 year, I guess, subscription or membership for NAACP is only like $30, $35. I think it's $35. And you can buy the lifetime, but they'll tell you more about that. So hope to see you tomorrow morning right here. At the Hilton Riverwalk, 3rd floor.
Hilton Riverside Hotel.
Yep.
3rd floor, St. Charles Ball.
Yep. Come on, y'all. Come on. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. What else you got to do this weekend? You in town?
That's it.
You in town?
I'm in town this weekend.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
All right. That's going to wrap things up for us. We hope to see you tomorrow morning. Whatever you do safely and carefully is the way we want you to do it. All right? Y'all have a great weekend.